For viewers who've missed the shenanigans lately, Elizabeth and I are going to role play. I will play a neutral observer, and Elizabeth will play Rudy Giuliani. Rudy, I'd like you to tell me what shape this is.
It's a circle.
Everybody says that this is a square.
They're wrong. They're lying. If you take away the edges, it's a circle. So just erase them, Katie. Erase them off your whiteboard.
But the edges are part of the shape. You can't just erase them. They're a fact.
Look, the edges are a fraud. You can't count them. The edges are not legitimate. Just erase them.
Okay, everybody, in case you missed the metaphors here, the square represents the very clear outcome, the fact that Joe Biden won this election. And also, what's happening is bananas.
Look, the Trump campaign has lost 32 of 34 lawsuits that they've filed since the election. And Donald Trump tried an outrageous stunt on Friday when he invited Michigan lawmakers to the White House to try to pressure them to give him the electoral votes, even though Joe Biden won the state by 154,000 votes.
And here in Michigan, it was 154,000 vote margin. And no one has come up with any evidence of fraud or abuse.
And in Georgia, after a hand recount confirmed Biden's win, the Trump team requested another recount even after the Republican Secretary of State certified the results. Meanwhile, my colleagues in the Senate are refusing to call the square a square.
Until the Electoral College votes, anyone who's running for office can exhaust concerns.
In fact, he may not have been defeated at all.
What I did is got out my whiteboard and broke it down, naming names. Those who are standing up for democracy, those who are completely repeating Trump's BS, and those who are wishy-washy going back and forth. It's hard to measure those slippery ones. One Republican even said, "What's the downside of humoring Trump for a little bit?" Elizabeth, can you think of any downside?
Sure, I can think of one, like undermining the foundation of our democracy. Republicans are actively trying to erase votes. They're targeting their hoax lawsuits on districts that are heavily Democratic and populated by people of color. And they're trying to erase their votes and their voices. Look, I come from a witnessing tradition that says when you see something that is wrong, you're called on to speak out. We've got 250,000 Americans dead from a pandemic. Cases are rising. We are in a crisis. His anti-democratic actions are a stain, not just on the United States, but on democracy movements around the world.
And any Republican leader who doesn't speak out is also a stain. And we should never forget what side they chose in this moment of crisis for our nation.